Kia ora, my name's Jeremy Toy. I'm from the shore, from Browns Bay. I'm 23 years old. This year I've been chosen for the Red Bull Music Academy in Cape Town, along with two others from New Zealand, Lou and Adrian. Pretty much from the get-go, my dad got me into music. He was in big bands and jazz bands and playing along to like Grover Washington at home and shit. Decided when I was about 14 that there's nothing else I wanted to do with my life, just do music. I play in a group called Open Souls. We're a live band, kind of hip-hop, kind of funk, kind of reggae, I don't know what you call it, but it's going real good, eh? We're trying to focus on our different sounds and trying to get out just our one sound, getting it all absorbed. I listen to a lot of old hip-hop, a lot of jazz, mostly funk. Funk just gets me going. Yeah, I'm pretty excited, eh? Hopefully there'll be heaps of geeks hanging out talking about music, and Geek Fest is on. Yeah.
Sorry? What a wanker!
Yeah.
Honestly.
It's cut corners. Hold up.
Before we left to go to Cape Town, I thought, oh yeah, cool. I'll take my MPC, take all my records, and go take my guitar just in case.
How much does your guitar weigh?
My bag's 18, this is 8.
Okay, well...
Our baggage was so overweight that it was going to cost about $1,500 to send my stuff to Cape Town. It's not happening. So there was a mad panic and scramble.
The luggage.
And lots of phone calls to people. Unfortunately, I had to send a bag of records and guitar back home.
Yeah, Mum. Hey, I'm going to send you a package in a taxi.
I was pretty gutted that I couldn't take my whole room with me, but it's pretty awesome that I could take my MPC and go whoop. I had it under my arm. Take a little bit of home with me so I don't have to worry about it getting stolen or someone using it while I'm away.
We do appreciate your patience in boarding this service this morning. This is now a general boarding call for all passengers through gate 24.
A lot of different thoughts about South Africa, a lot of different views and different opinions. Just seeing all the shit that's gone on there is pretty massive. There's going to be a lot of different vibes there.
I'm tired. The fun's kicking in now.
Cool. Got a kid now. But it's pretty cool being here.
On the way there, it was a bit of a shock. We drove past the townships, and it was like stuff I'd never seen before. It made me feel a bit weird. It made me feel a bit uneasy. Like, what are we doing? We're in Cape Town. This is dangerous. Yeah, little did I know. Yeah, come in for a little tour.
Looks nice.
Yeah, it's not too bad, huh? We've got a kitchen, bit of skippy. This was here when I got here. It smells real bad in here. I think it's the plug. Yeah, this is my bedroom. Step up from Grey Lynn, very Mediterranean / African. Got a little bit of MPC action in the corner. Brought this all the way with me. Hopefully have a jam with some other of the dudes that have come along. This is apparently called Swilligans Island out here. Luxurious barbecue area, mandarin tree. We've got Table Mountain up in the background over there. The neighbourhood they'd set up, the kind of Red Bull neighbourhood, it's kind of like pseudo-European Tuscan style apartments. And apparently it's the gay like a capital of Cape Town that they've put us in. I'm not sure what that has to do with hip hop, but house. Yes. Anyway, I'm all cool with that. All the applicants arrived yesterday. They're all real cool. My neighbours across the road, Lou from New Zealand and Sophie from Sydney. They paired off Asia and Vivian, Russia and America together, a little Cold War exercise. And up the road there was Guillaume from France and Status from Greece together, and they're going to have a little pasta party up the road. I don't know why they gave me one by myself. Maybe thought it was a bit weird. I'm kind of excited about trying to find some other hip-hop heads and just yarning flat stick to them and trying to get some shit out of them that I don't know and hopefully share with them some shit that I know. As far as the other types of music go, I'm not too clued up on it. At home I don't really, if I hear drum and bass or electro or house coming out of a room, I usually walk away, unfortunately, because it's too fast for me. My head goes real slow and my body grooves at 90. It doesn't groove any faster. But hopefully there's going to be some awesome cats here, so they'll probably turn my ears onto it. I just found out yesterday that Patrice is going to be here next week. That's going to be dope. Patrice is a German MC, singer, songwriter. So he's going to do some talking about songwriting, which is dope because I want to ask him about his songs. For over the next, and this week I think Bob Moog's going to be here, the Moog man himself, inventor of the Moog. How he came up with that, I don't know. We'll find out. It's going to be a pretty choice. I was very excited when I heard that Hugh Masekela was going to be here. He's from the old school jazz. He grew up playing jazz for funk, and then he's kept it real new, kind of like Miles, but in a South African way. And I thought, no, that's not going to happen. We're not going to see Hugh. He's a legend, but he's going to be here today. Okay, so we're on Jameson Street at the entrance to the Red Bull Music Academy.
How are you?
There's a whole bunch of security guards, security dog, the works. And this was our home for 2 weeks.
Hey, man.
Day one of the Red Bull Music Academy began with a question and answer day put together by Torsten and his merry men. Straight away Torsten looked over. Jeremy, you may as well go first. One of the questions was, what is the stupidest noise you can make with your body apart from farting? My voice can break.
Okay, that sounds good.
Probably the two.
Very nice.
Yeah, I did a good job. I won't repeat it. It was cool though because we got to, it sort of relaxed everyone and got everyone to know each other and what everyone was about.
But I'm actually a country boy.
Sort of from English.
Play bass, just like a rock type band.
Hello, I'm Eliane Iwasa. I'm from Brazil, São Paulo, Brazil. I'm a DJ and I play house and techno and a little bit of electro. It's such a, international event indeed, because you see people from, Australia representing Germany or people from Brazil representing England, it's just a big exchange. Yeah, it's great. As soon as you meet them, you have like a big thing in common, big passion in common, that's music, and that makes everything much, much easier.
Bon, salut tout le monde, je m'appelle Guillaume, je viens de Nantes en France. Et je fais de la musique dans la vie, notamment en tant que disque jockey, passant des disques électro-punk parfois. The first paragraph of the mail is just, it was difficult to choose, and I was expecting, okay, it's dead. And so the third paragraph is, oh, you win, perfect. I was alone in the radio where I work, and I think I shout, and then I go drinking a lot and playing my jigs quite well. Before coming, I was a little bit afraid of, marketing, that sort of stuff. I was afraid of hype, oh, yeah. And not at all. We all have the same passion, not always the same style, but the same passion. And so we can spend maybe 2 hours speaking about a kick drum. Maybe it's like a seed growing up after. Maybe, I hope so.
Before I came here, I saw the movie Amandla, and an artist that stood out in that to me was an artist called Hugh Masekela.
I just finished this book that I wrote about my life, and I'm giving it all away here. This is my 60th year as a musician, and I'm still learning.
It's pretty obvious that he's a really generous guy and a really humble guy, and all he wants to talk about is cool life experiences.
Miles Davis pulled me aside one day, man, and he said, listen, let me tell you something. You want to be a jazz musician, there's thousands of us. You're just going to be a statistic. But if you put some of that shit from your home into the shit you do, every other word with Miles was shit. And you put some of that shit from your home into the shit you're doing now, your shit's going to be mad. Mean, you're gonna be bad, and that we're gonna learn something from you.
The way he talked about these people, it brings a new light to those people. You read about them, you listen to them, and you put it in your head like a way they might have been. And to hear someone talk who's actually kind of friends with them was great. And he's saying keep yourself young, because when you're young, you're listening to music. It's like music is just like way up in the stratosphere, and you're down there trying to look up and trying to reach that peak the whole time. And by the time you're really successful, you think you're there, you think you've made it. And he's saying, try not to think of it that way. Try and think of it as you're always looking for that. You're always searching.
Like my grandmother said, we didn't come here with anything, And it's the less you think that you know, the better you can receive, and the more enthusiastic you can be about what you don't know,
He talked about some stuff which really hit me hard. I was having a bit of a moment when I was in the crowd, because about 3 months before the academy, my dad died totally unexpectedly, just kind of out of the blue, heart problems. And one of the last things I talked to Dad about was this thing he talked about, which is a sense of place. It was pretty mind-blowing for me, because that's what Dad was a sense of. And a sense of self for him was the exact same thing. It was knowing that you're coming from a culture, you're coming from a culture which you need to bring out in your own thing, your own self, your own artistic ways, whatever it is, and really share that with the world.
Any artist's best work, this is my crazy notion, that their best work is not actually originated by themselves. I think there's some kind of spiritual subconscious mode you put yourself in so as to receive. I'm at a party up in Woodstock and having a great time, and all of a sudden I have to rush to the piano, and I get to the piano and I start singing Steamella, just as it is. My friends are going, when did you write the song? I said, shh, it's coming in, shut the fuck up.
There's a lot of music inside me from my grandparents, from my parents, from my great-grandparents that still hasn't come out of me. And it's the same thing, it's choice. It's choice for someone to just really hit that home and remind you that you've got that inside you.
When people say, I love your music, I say, it's not my music. I even whisper because my grandmother is haunting me. It's not my music, I found it here.
He said throughout the lecture that he was going to play at the end, and I was like, oh man, awesome. I'm going to get to listen to what I've dreamed of hearing like in the flesh. He said, is there any musicians here? Anyone who could play bass? And I was like, ooh, yeah, I can play bass. I was like, gotta be confident, I gotta do it. And I was like, yeah, I can play bass. We went up into the radio area, which also has a studio in it. There was already some dude playing bass and a guy playing drums, and I was like, oh, a bit bummed out. I was thinking, I'm not going to get to play anything here. And I walked up, and Hugh was there, and he's like, Jeremy, you're going to jump on the bass now? I was like, oh yeah, showtime. All the people started coming in, and my hands froze up, trying to visualize like if I was Chip, if I was Chip in this position, where's my hands going? I was just sort of warming up, and Hugh goes, yeah, let's start. He said, that's nice. I was like, oh yeah, okay, whatever Hugh. And I started playing the bass line I was playing.
We'll call this one College for a laid-back knowledge.
As soon as he started playing, it was sweet. Like I just didn't have to worry at all. I just like kind of shut my eyes and listened to Hugh, and I didn't even know there was anyone else in the room at that point. It was just me listening to this music coming out of Hugh, and then the music started coming out of me. So I started feeding off him with my bass lines. Maybe I was dropping a little bit of answers to he's playing a few little licks, and he was answering them himself, but I thought, now I'll answer some of your phrases and see what you got. He was hearing that too. He was hearing that I was playing along with him. It was choice. Emotionally, it was, to be playing with him was choice. It was a funny feeling because he's so humble that it was absolutely no different to me playing with someone from back home. It felt so good to know that me playing back home is just the same as playing with someone like Hugh Masekela. And it's like the name, but then the name goes away and it's just music. And the music is the same, and it was great. It was like, yeah, it was choice. It was like I was home.
Laid back knowledge. Laid back knowledge.
Thanks for teaching me that song.
And now that goes to show you like how creativity, and especially music, how great it is, because we all came in here. Most of all, I didn't know what the fuck we were gonna do. I didn't have an idea. But thanks to Jeremy, he got us into the pocket.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. We all owe you.
I owe you.
We all owe you. We'll never be able to repay you, so don't send us a bill.
No. What I've taken away from this day is, in terms of knowledge and everything, is like, bro, we don't know anything. We've just got to let our spirits guide us, and it's shit that I've been thinking about for a long time. And when you hear, you hear these musicians and you think, man, these guys have got to be spiritual, and it's not them playing it, it's coming from somewhere else, it's coming from your ancestors, it's coming from future people. It's choice. It's like, who cares what your music is as long as it's got that soul, that spirit. Cape Town has been dope. I like it, good vibes. I've seen a couple of gun shops. A big queue outside one of them today. Could have been a sale. I've heard there's a guitar shop on Long Street. Hopefully find a guitar to play because I haven't played one for a good week now, and my fingers are feeling neglected. You gotta walk with conviction here, so no little kids come and knock you.
Rastafari, good Rastafari, ahoy. Yeah. Ahoy, Rastafari. Yeah.
These guys are choice.
What's for last me?
That one was pretty cool. '89, but these are okay. These are just 11s. Okay. Only 11, right? There you are.
Awesome, I'm back. I give this guitar 2 weeks, and then it will be the rot. You kind of like walk around the wrong street and feel really uncomfortable. Like the more I've been here, the more I'm warming to it. Puts you out of your comfort zone for sure.
I'm Daniel Ferry, I'm DJ Motive, drum and bass DJ, now living in Melbourne, Australia, originally from Christchurch, New Zealand. I always feel like I'm something of an ambassador for New Zealand music, pushing it, giving it out, making people hear it, playing it out in the clubs and on the radio shows.
I'm not a very musical person and don't actually think in drum and bass I don't think it's really important. I hear something else, or I hear a track, or I'm in a club and I hear someone else's music, and that's what makes me want to write music rather than just some grand vision in my head that I have to express to the world. It's not quite so grandiose. Tonight we're playing at a gig called Homegrown with Nick D from New Zealand, myself, Shroombab from Austria, and 500 Mils, the South African star. So tonight is going to be really fresh to play here. I never really feel any nerves, especially not at home, because I know what to play, I know what I'm doing. Here it's like, it's not whether I'll mix well, it's whether they'll like what I play. I've been producing drum and bass for about 3 years, and tonight I played about 4 new things. They were up for it. They were mad, they were vocal, they were jumping up on the stage, they were coming up and shaking your hand, pounding your fist. The crowd are screaming, hooting, whistling. MCs are calling for rewinds. This is what drum and bass is really all about. It was just great having the applicants on stage as well, jumping around going crazy. It was like Sebastian.
The terrible thing for me tonight is that I just fallen a full glass of vodka Red Bull on the floor.
How many Red Bulls?
I don't know how can happen this. Yeah.
Well, the Red Bull Music Academy has more or less started as an idea at the end of 1997. Back then it was only German-speaking participants. As you might imagine, not the most exciting idea in the world, but I will figure that the next year, I would want to do it again. Let's get adventurous, bring more people in. 8 countries, wow! People like each other.
At the time you saw quite a lot of different music projects. All of them were just looking at skills only, and we just didn't think that DJing was all about skills.
There was this ever ongoing race for coolness. You got a question, you don't know anything, your problem. And we just tried to create some sort of an environment where people would just forget about all these things and just ask whatever they wanted to.
And I think it makes sense to expose them to as many different music styles and different age groups as well as possible.
So if you want to learn about how a speaker works and what this whole thing about frequency and whatever is, hey, speak to the man who invented the stereo mixer or installed the first stereo club sound system.
The purpose of a sound reproduction system is to tell the truth, is to reproduce it the way it really is. About 20 years ago, I did a sound system for a chef, and he said, can you put a pair of Klipschorns in my kitchen? You know, Klipschorn is a very big loudspeaker. It's about 5 feet tall, 4 feet wide. It goes into a corner. It's intended for a large room. So I said, how big is your kitchen? He said, 10 by 12, 10 feet by 12 feet. I said, of course, no problem. I put him in the kitchen. It sounded great. Because his issue was, well, would a pair of smaller loudspeakers sound better? And the answer is no. The function of bass is to sort of vibrate our loins, as it were.
When you want to know about a synthesizer, why not speak to Bob Moog, who happened to invent the first commercially available synthesizer?
I think we can begin in 1964, it's almost 40 years ago. And I met an experimental composer, Herb Deutsch. He asked me, could I help him make some new sounds? I asked him what did he have in mind. He made some mouth sounds like beep-oo, beep-oo, beep-oo, or wee-oo, wee-oo, wee-oo. And that was the beginning. And don't ask me where the idea came from to make what's called a voltage-controlled oscillator. The same way as many of you think about putting a tune together or a mix of some sort, the idea came.
I'm very grateful that I've been able to make this contribution to our contemporary music. It's a very gratifying feeling.
Let's say you have the mixologist coming in towards the end of the week and not someone from the Bronx or who invented the scratch for that matter. We try to mix these things up because a lot of the people are not from a place where the fire was invented or where the wheel invented, but they still have mad passion for things. We want to encourage them to just go in there and do their thing. If they can do it, why not in Auckland? Why not in Lagos? Why not in Mexico or wherever? And it's, I mean, as the old Stussy thing goes, it's not where you're from, it's where you're at.
It's Young Sun.
The studio setup's in the middle kind of area. 5 or 6 rooms set up with turntables in them and real nice little monitors so you can just do your mixing on them. It was cool because you could, at any point you could go in and check out like what the other applicants were doing and what their styles were DJing and mixing. So you go and check out some Polish hip-hop or some Brazilian techno, which was pretty cool. One room just had Kwaito non-stop, which was awesome. You go in there, you see Kenny or KB or Black Coffee just DJing up a storm.
Slow Kwaito, fast Kwaito, and house music.
Okay. You know, Kwaito, man, is like the African oomph.
It's much faster than hip-hop, but a little slower than house. So it's kind of there in between.
Like we can all play Kwaito, but you gotta be creative. You know what I'm saying?
It was just so amazing to play with Kenny and Pice. I mean, this is what they do Wednesday through Sunday, and they were still in the studio DJing every day after they had been out every night in the entire week DJing. You know what I mean? And it's obviously like a love of music and a love of like getting together with other people to play music. So I really treasure the experience.
If I haven't been in the Music Academy, I'll still be sitting here thinking everything is a far-fetched dream. Now, after the Academy, it looks much more closer. I can grab onto it, I can do something. But to meet people from Bulgaria, and we're from South Africa, and I'm from the townships, you know. Is there a DJ in Bulgaria? Fuck. You know, like Hungary, Czechoslovakia, what? through music, you can overlook all the barriers. You know, it doesn't matter if it's like a developed or undeveloped country. Music just pushes that aside.
One of the things Rebel wanted to do was give some music back to Cape Town because we were using their town for 2 weeks, and give them back some music from all the different applicants. And the way they thought was a good idea is they have these cool taxis there, like they're just vans, but like you see them driving around the streets just like dudes hanging out the windows going, hey, want a lift, man, hey, and you're like, wow, what the hell? But they have like awesome sound systems in the cars, all CD players and sound systems, just booming out tunes all day. These are just like sound systems on wheels.
Nice to meet you. Listen, we've got some fresh music with us.
Sexy lady.
This is the music we must get used to, because this is the new generation.
We want R&B and hip hop.
I got hip hop.
Hip hop music.
What type of music? What do you
Tonight I am playing down at a place called Sutra. I'm opening up. I told them it would be better as like the closing act to get everyone out of there, but they didn't laugh, they just looked worried. I haven't done much DJing at home, I've only just started and I've never ever done CDs before, so we'll see how it goes. Plan of attack is going to be funny. I'm going to start off with some jazz, because I couldn't bring my records, so I've only got my CDs, and the CDs is all shit like that I listen to chill out to. It's not records, so it's going to be funny. See you later, mate. Bye. Ciao. See you later. Bye. Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous, because I'd never done CDs. I only like ones where you bring your Discman along and you put it on the, you put it beside the mixer and then you just push play. Never used the CD, DJ, whatever it is. Otherwise I don't really care. Just gotta play. Yeah, I just played my first set in Cape Town. It was cool. It's pretty funny. I fully represented New Zealand there. I played a little bit of Shay, a little bit of Freddy's, a little bit of Open Souls. That's not the full spectrum, but it's a little bit of this little nice selection. It's cool to play like your home stuff when you're in a different country, because you feel a little bit homesick as well. So it's like, fuck it, go and play the music that you would want to listen to or people would listen to back home, and see what people think here. And when you play it alongside Stevie Wonder and you play your mate's record from Vancouver alongside it, and it holds up, it's choice. And then it broadcasted across Cape Town, because it was on the radio too, which is really dope. Live to Cape Town, I don't know what that is. 2 million or 5 people. Yeah, they were all tuned in, all of them. Choice experience. Yeah, gonna bring the band around next time.
Mixologist, Champion Sounds. That's how we're getting down. Wah, wah.
gymnastics, and that's it. If loose lip sync shifts, my old script rips and flips like gymnastics, and that's If loose lip sync shifts, my old script rips and flips like gymnastics, and that's it. If loose lip sync shifts, my old script rips and flips like gymnastics, so loose lips sync shifts.
So the program that's happening today, there's gonna be DJs from other places. They're gonna battle, gonna be b-boys and rappers and graffiti artists, and there's gonna be prizes also that you can win.
No, thank you.
Just want to greet all the old school b-boys and all the old school hip-hop heads and say there's quite a few of us standing on the field today with the younger guys. And I think we're going to look at some interesting cypher sessions and MC battles later on, so hold tight, we're going to be with you guys in a second. Thanks a lot for coming through.
We got a DJ all the way from Poland, DJ name. Can you please put your hands together? All the way from Poland, believe it or not, right here in Richards Bay today.
My name is David, I'm from Poland, I'm 18. I think I'm the youngest in the academy. Music was always around me, so it's a natural thing. I've been DJing for 3 years, I think. I play hip-hop as a DJ. As a producer, I make more experimental stuff.
Let me see you clap your hands.
Everyone is just such a great, they're smiling, they're talking, a lot of b-boys, graffiti riders, DJs, and me as well. I felt like I was in Brooklyn in the early 70s. The Black Party, man, yeah, very old school stuff.
You were there at my birth, taking part of my heart. You my beat and my rhythm and my soul from the start. Hip, hip, hop, hop. When the beat comes on, you don't want me to stop.
It's a beautiful experience being here with Red Bull, seeing the native people out here get down with real hip-hop, you know what I mean? I was fortunate enough to get on the mic and be able to get down with some natives, man, and we just sort of fed off of each other's vibe.
Keep the rhythm straight to the point like the tops of pyramids. I'm giving this to all the here, no matter who it is.
They are real hip-hop out here. This is real out here.
Yeah. Check the words before you press play. Now you know my boots is name branded relay.
I'm a scientist, I mix my lyrics like harmonize. Your breasting's overtime like whole carbon dioxide.
Your pants is 3 sizes too big for you, so what you wanna do? You're not rocking that lyrical voodoo.
Your style is so weak while you picking up all kinds of aggression. You just a warm up for me for the open mic session.
Just down the road you end up in a place like Camps Bay. Just people living a completely different lifestyle to what you've just seen, like just down the road. And you look around and you see the cliffs and you see the beach and you see all the amazing scenery, and you're just like, oh, this is a different story.
My name is İlkay. I'm from Turkey, Istanbul. I play down tempo actually, kind of lounge music, but not very